Hello everybody, Raven here from the Weird Ones, and today I am bringing you a Convulsion of Nature deck. This is a part of a series I am going to be doing involving basically building weird decks. I will probably be naming it something along the lines of a deck build challenge or something of the sort. Today I was trying to take advantage of Convulsion of Nature. Convulsion of Nature is a continuous spell card, as you can see here, that as long as this card remains face up on the field, both players must turn their respective decks upside down and proceed with the current duel. So it is a very weird card. It doesn't really do anything. It doesn't really help you advance the game state any. So by all means, it's pretty terrible. However, it does help you resolve a certain number of cards that you previously wouldn't have been able to activate, such as Archfiend's Oath, which wants you to declare a card, and if the top card of your deck is the card that you declared, you add it to your hand. The same goes for True Name, though if you got it right, you can also special summon a divine monster from your deck, as well as Gishki Diviner, which also works, again, very similarly to Oath and True Name, right? So ultimately, with that, we can build a small little engine revolving around them. The engine being the one obelisk with the 3 True Name, right? I chose obelisk over the other two, namely because raw doesn't really do anything. I mean, don't get me wrong. Let's get rid of that. Sorry, So, you could summon raw simply because of the non-once return destruction effect, right? I don't want to add that. I just want to put it to the side right now. You could do that, right? You could. However, you would have to add raw to your hand rather than special summon it because of the restriction of cannot be special summoned, which really puts a damper on things, right? Immortal Phoenix has the very same procedure, and I think Sphere Mode cannot be special summoned, right? So out of all of the divine monsters that are currently in the game, the only 2 that you can actually special summon via True Name is Obelisk and Slifer. And Slifer is more of a floodgate monster, whereas Obelisk is more of a I'm going to hit you really hard monster. So we went with Obelisk. 3 Mathematicians along with an Archfiend Eris. Eris, when sent to the graveyard, can actually search Archfiend's Oath, which creates a little consistency. A bit better consistency in that sense. The 3 Diviners, of course, 3 Deep Sea Diva, because she can immediately pull Diviner from the deck, as well as start our actual play, which I will get into in a moment. Yes, it's a Hulk play. Yes, I did try other variants that didn't require Hulk, and unfortunately the only other one that worked was a Mystic Mind deck, which I don't think anyone really wanted to see gameplay of, to be honest, right? One Lullaby of Obedience, I'm very back and forth with this card, right? Because not only is Lullaby a very strong card, it can remove a key card from your opponent's deck, and it can potentially supply you with another body on the board, though not necessarily. It can also be just another monster, and if you call a hand trap, they're more likely to make you summon it so that you can't use it against them, right? or they can add it to your hand, and you have a free hand trap to use against your opponent, which you'll notice a lack thereof for the most part on hand traps this deck has. So the little bit helps. However, due to the nature of declaring a monster your opponent goes, we don't always have access to Convulsion of Nature, which means that this card is probably the least consistent of the cards to declare that have you declare a card. So I only run it at 1. 2 wouldn't be too bad because left arm and Convulsion mean that you effectively have 6 copies of Convulsion. Though if you activate left arm the turn you activate the turn you drew Lullaby, it doesn't really help you because you can't set Lullaby, so you'll end up banishing it. So I still stick with 1. It also is space constraint. I did test versions with more of it, but that didn't ultimately work. I am dragging this on too long. 3 true name, obviously. 3 card advance. You don't always have Convulsion, so card advance is not only a way for you to be able to manipulate the top cards of your deck, it also potentially gives you the additional tribute summon in case you add Obelisk to your hand, so that you can normal summon it normally and have it be a lasting presence on the field rather than just a temporary one. 3 left arm, Convulsion, very important. We need a way to search it. And then 3 Archfiend's Oath, obviously, as well as 3 Convulsion of Nature itself. Moving on, the deck can't just do that, because while that provides a surprisingly consistent, like not overly consistent, but it's surprisingly consistent gameplay, it doesn't really do anything, right? And the first and obvious choice is for the entire purpose to summon Crystron Halqifibrax, right? Namely because Deep Sea Diva special summons Gishki, right? That's already a tuner and a non-tutor to go, right? Already there, as well as Diviner and Mathematician are both level 3 monsters, which means Wielder, I don't know how to pronounce its name, right? But his conditions are prime for him to special summon himself, as well as Emergency Teleport being another way to access him, effectively giving us 6 extenders in case we need a tuner on the board. Furthermore, Emergency Teleport can also pull Xiamen from the deck, right? Which means that we can actually introduce a P.U.N.K engine here. We run a 5-card P.U.N.K engine rather than just 3, which 3 would just be 2 Xiamen and 1 Foxy Tune, because you can use Xiamen, add Foxy Tune, send Foxy Tune in another card, which could be Eris, by the way, to the graveyard, to summon the other Xiamen, and that would give you the 2 that you need, right, for Hulk. However, it can also summon Madame Spider, and Madame Spider can search Dangerous Gabriel, which is effectively another negate, which actually can be a deal breaker in certain games. Just saying. It actually did give me a win on one of the games that you're going to watch. So, I personally like that, but you don't have to include it. You can take those 2 out for possibly 2 more copies of Lullaby, or just 2 more copies of some tuner extenders if you want, right? I also run 2 Adhara. This could just be any tuner that special summons itself, really. I went with Adhara just because, but ultimately you don't have to, right? And that's about it as far as the, non-bricks go, right? Technically speaking, Madame Spider is a brick, as well as Foxy Tune, though if we draw into Foxy Tune, we don't really need to search it with Xiamen. An Emergency Teleport can special summon Madame Spider from our hand, as well as she's a level 3, so there's the potential of working with Wielder, right? So she's not a Garnet per se, but she also is a Garnet. But as for our actual Garnets, we have Scythe, Creation Resonator 001, Effect Veiler, and Mecha Phantom Beast Coltwing. You need Coltwing 001 and Creation for the main play, which you will see here. You need Effect Veiler for the access code talker play in the case that you're going second. And you need Scythe for the Dagda play in case you hard draw your Coltwing, or if that you're scared of like something or other, you get interrupted or something, right? Now the advantage of these four is that these two, it actually is better if you draw into them, right? Scythe means that all you need is Hulk, and even if they negate the additional summon, it doesn't matter because Hulk can then go into TG Wonder Magician to pop Scythe, special summoning Scythe, and then you can proceed to make Baroness anyway. Well, Baron anyways, right? So if you draw it, it's actually better, but you don't want to play more than one because it honestly clogs. Though I suppose if you took out Spider and Dangerous Gabu, you could run more than one. That's up to you. 001 and Effect Veiler, it's better if you don't draw them, but they're not technically Garnet. 001 can be special summoned from the hand, and Effect Veiler is still a hand trap, right? Which makes Coltwing and Madame Spider really the only hard Garnets in the deck, right? As for the extra deck, Psychic and Punisher, strong card, pretty easy to make, especially with the P.U.N.K engine, and can straight up win games for you. You won't see him in any of the replays I show here, just as much as you won't be seeing any Scythe or Dagda, primarily because they were actually late additions to the deck. I actually added them right before recording this video. No, I don't have any testing on their consistency, but that's fine. Baron, Forload, Herald, and Cupid Pitch are all part of the main combo that you're going to see. Omega is a good plan B in case they successfully break your board, as well as he's just good for recycling resources through. Between him and our level and Fortune Tune, it's actually really easy for us to, extend our deck for a pretty long time. Fortune Tune actually allows us to only need one Archfiend Heiress to successfully search out all of the Archfiend Oaths, thanks to its mandatory effect of if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target 2 level 3 monsters in your graveyard, shuffle them back into the deck, and then return him to the extra deck. Not only meaning that we have quite a pretty decent wall, since he can't be targeted, and if he would be destroyed, you can detach a material. But he's a recurring wall that constantly shuffles the resources back into the deck, allowing us to extend the game and avoid deck out if needed. As far as the links go, Hulk and Auradon are the two that you'll mainly use, but Selene and Access Code Talker are also options. Dagda is for the Scythe, and IP and Underworld Goddess of the Closed World, they are basically like a plan B, right? If all else fails, right, and you can't summon, and you don't think you can summon anything, you can just end on IP and two monsters, and go for Underworld Closed Goddess to basically close out your opponent completely, right? There's no guarantees that play will work, but it's a fun interaction that I keep in here. You could remove them if you so choose, but that is up to you. Now with that out of the way, I'm just going to go through the replays real quick. Ignore all of these. This was, if you want to see these later, just shoot a message, send a comment down below, and I might do a video on these, but I'm going to be focusing on Con 4. This is the 4th variant of the deck. I'm going to start with nothing better than this one. Let's load replay. This one, let's swap. I go second, as you can see. He's going to do his plays, right, and build his board. I straight up just messed this up. I had the chance to outplay it, but I was too afraid of messing up my combo that I didn't adapt to the board, right? Nor did I play it smart. I activated Card of Advance. I shouldn't have done that at all, right? There was no point of doing that. I was debating about summoning Diviner. I activated Teleport here. I should have activated here. I really just set myself up for defeat there. Ended my turn. I couldn't really do anything. I should have summoned him before. Would have had a chance to actually continue. But because of this, I ultimately didn't really have a play. He didn't have Zing's. He didn't use this card. So, like, technically speaking, even if I had summoned him there, he would have just blown it up. But I was blown out of the waters with this right out of the gate, because I actually didn't read this card before I started my combo, and that halfway through I messed it up because of him. I didn't realize that he could actually, get rid of my monster that I special summoned, which was kind of, I realized that right around the time I activated Emergency Teleport, and I stopped thinking clearly. Also, he's running an Emergency Teleport as well. Interesting. Anyways, that's that. Let's load this one. This was close. Okay, this is the right side already. 001 is in hand. Not fun, but I am going first. Convulsion. I'll add Archfiend's Oath to the hand because it's better to have it than not. Go through my combo. I believe they actually, this Dark Ruler No More is really, really bad. Really fucks with my board, right? So as you can see, I went Cupid Pitch, raised its level, went through the Cult Wing stuff, bringing him back. That will go for Borreload, which gets him on the board, and I can search my creation special summon since I have Borreload, have a 10, have a 4. That's 3 negates off of a single Hulk, and with Emergency Teleport, I have this, and honestly, this is the top deck I needed, right? Because now I have 2 negates that aren't monsters on the board, so when I use Dark Ruler No More, completely lose all of my negates. All of them on the board, right? Really nearly messed me up. I got really lucky with what's about to come, right? He has that. He uses that for an additional summon, which I then negate with Effect Veiler. I don't want to have him pop off with normal summons, and he summoned that. I didn't realize he didn't use his normal summon first, but thankfully I had that set to stop him. Without any additional normal summons, he's completely shut out of the game and causes him to lose. They don't really utilize the extra deck very often. In fact, his Fossil Machine Skullwagon, right? So, like, clearly he had no intentions of going into the extra deck. He was just using it for Pot of Disparity, right? So it was a very lucky thing. I actually had the Emergency Teleport and the Effect Veiler that I got from Oath. Otherwise, I would have straight up lost that game. It would have been completely out of my control from that point forward. So I got really lucky there. Let's go to game 2. Let's load this. Let's swap. So he starts first. He pitches Effect Veiler, which really lucky. It would have been, Actually, I guess it's lucky for him in a way. I don't know. I'm going off. You see, I've summoned 3 monsters here. I felt like it was better to do that than to risk having him interrupt, because I didn't know what this face down was. It wasn't anything of importance, but I didn't know that at the time. So I go through the combo. Let's go 5. I go to board load here because of space room. I didn't know if I could, like, I wouldn't be able to actually perform the combo otherwise, and because I had the extra card there, I was able to have something else to tribute. Do note that meant that I was actually left with another token that I didn't necessarily need. I don't know why I put that in defense mode. It's a misclick on my part. I should have kept it. I'm going to negate the search. I don't know if he was searching Red Eyes Dark Black or what. In fact, I was actually worried he was going to search Red Eyes Fusion at the time, which he already had on hand. Made me think I failed to negate it, right? However, blind activating Red Eyes Fusion was probably not his smartest play, especially considering I had 3 negates on board to go through with it, right? And as you can see, he doesn't really have any other place to go, so he just scoops. However, this deck isn't going to win you every game. Here is a game where I completely get shut down, I think, by that guy, honestly. I start with Lullaby, I call Malicious. I saw him itch another Malicious, so I wanted to get it out of his deck. I tried to call for Convulsion. Hold on, I want to pause right here. So, Diviner, unlike True Name and Archfiend's Oath, if you call it wrong, it actually returns it to the top of the deck, whereas Oath and True Name will send it to the graveyard. So, if you don't have access to your left arm, and with my hand, I don't want to just blindly left arm into Convulsion, right? Just in case. So I want to be able to, play through. So I used Diviner first before True Name so that I could make sure True Name got off and would get the Obelisk on board, because honestly, having a 4,000 attack, a 4,000 beat stick on board right now was absolutely what I needed, right? Because I could have just attacked him, right? Also, he had a Nibiru. I just now realized that. That's how important Nibiru was with this whole thing, right? I think I'm actually on... Yeah, this is my 2nd summon right now, so... I activate left arm, banish my entire hand, get emergency teleport, search Madam Spider. He uses that, pops Madam Spider, doesn't want me to get the negate, and then I just attack for 4k, and attack for 12, and then go into IP. So, right here, right, I couldn't go into Hulk because it wasn't a tuner and non-tuner. I probably should have gone for Dagda, but as you can see from this, I didn't originally have him. I had a lot less synchros and a lot more links, but I ended up removing Appaloosa as well as Zerabos and Nightmare Griffin. Nightmare Griffin was a questionable removal because he actually did help me win a few games that I don't think I recorded. I recorded a series of games in a row, right? Or at least the ones that were enough, but I didn't record all of them. Simply because some of them just didn't have enough meat in the duel to actually be worth it, right? They would scoop us immediately, or they just wouldn't have enough. I think the one game where it really came in, I recorded it, but I can't be so sure. I ended up removing those and adding a few more synchros as well as Dagda. So, like, I could have done a better play here by summoning Dagda, because if anything, it would have at least meant that I would have had a scythe that I could potentially have used but realistically, it wouldn't have saved me much at all. Verte would probably have been the only Link 2 I could have made that would have actually done something, and Verte is honestly another one. He's another way to build the deck. I personally didn't build it using him because I felt like I was choosing between the lesser of two evils, and if I was going to do that, I might as well just build the biggest board I can do, right? So I more focused on the triple negate rather than a single negate that's not targetable, right? So it wasn't the best play I could have done, but at the time it seemed like it. Obelisk was going to go to the grave at the end of the turn anyways, right? Because True Name only makes him last for that turn. As you can see, big combos are happening. That's coming back. Shuffling something back to set another negate. So we're gonna get hit with this, right? But he's got Called, Climax, Draconian Prison of Snow and Sky, Fogblade, and two Fogblades, Ice Dragon's Prison, Climax, Crescendo, and Called by the Grave. I had no way of breaking, and I was top decking, so I had no way to win this game, right? So continue. My top card was the True Name. Hold on. Previous. Oh no. Load replay. We'll just continue through it real quick because we're already up to 30 minutes. And I really am going to have to cut out. So let's do this. And this was against Chainburn. Oh, I remember this. So this one was pretty standard. I didn't have Colt Wing, so I went for Effect Veiler. I went Selene. Then I realized I messed up. Yeah, so when I summoned Selene, I didn't realize I only had one spell on board, and that was Convulsion. I hadn't activated any spells beforehand, so I didn't really have enough counters to continue with what I was doing, which what I was planning on doing was Griffin. Because I was going into this blind, I had Sullen Secret Blast, I suspected Chainburn, but I didn't really know. I didn't have Trispania, so like I don't think I really have any way of stopping spells other than access to Talker just straight up destroying them. Yeah, I think that's really all I have, and my full combo, or at least Baroness, Baron. Yeah, I didn't really have anything to stop all their traps, so realistically, I didn't have much in terms of options. But still, summoning Selene was honestly a mistake. I was honestly better off going Auradon into 001 and then just ending on Baron, right? Because it would have summoned the 3 tokens, brought back 001, and then I would have had 9 and 1 for 10, right? That was probably the better play instead of going for Selene, but I was an idiot. So yeah, Selene pass. Luckily, Chainburn set 3 pass. They started with the Ojama Trio. I was really thankful for that fact. So I started, I normal summon. I knew I was probably going to walk right into a Just Desserts. I was expecting that much, right? However, I wanted to get specifically him on board, because then I could, use 4 monsters for Baron, use that to blow the last one up, and have no more Ojama Trios. Left arm. Another Archfiend, Oath. I didn't really know what else to add. I didn't really need anything else, but I wanted to kind of continue. And so, yeah, I did that. At this point, I don't know what Chainburn runs, so I didn't want to blind Lullaby. You'll see here, I actually Lullaby. So he goes that. I negate it, because I really just don't want to deal with that, and I don't think this is going to be anything that I need to worry about, right? So he should have added that to my hand, by the way. Just saying. Use that, set that, Lullaby for that, Oath for Madame. Really, really sad that it was Madame. But I used that. I'm running dangerously low on life points right now, right? But I pitched that. Gosh, thankfully, I just want to say, I got really lucky at the end there, right? Because I decided to not only set Dangerous Gaboo before attacking, but also summon Foxy Tune. Had I kept them in my hand, it would have been game over. The fact that I didn't allowed me to win. Chainburn almost got me, and it doesn't help that this deck drains you of life points, which is actually the main reason I added the P.U.N.K engine in the first place, because Foxy Tune's first effect, once per turn when this card battles an opponent sponsored by battle, you can gain life points equal to that monster's original attack, was the main way of us recovering our life points after activating 1,000 Archfiend Oath and paying 5,000 life points from that, as well as just the other cards that, I mean, Lullaby cost 2,000 to pay. Hey, I really needed a way to gain life points to increase the longevity of the deck. Help build the grind that the deck could do, right? So Foxy Tune was there to kind of recover the life points that I made. Originally, it was just a copy of Foxy Tune and Zeman. That was my original engine until I found out that 2 Zeman and Foxy Tune was an actual engine that was popularly used. So then I adjusted for that, and that's when I came across the adding Madame Spider and Dangerous Gaboo into the fray, which was not only a free negate that has really paid off, but also another way of gaining life points. So, yeah, I kind of went with that. But anyways, that was it. That's the Convulsion of Nature deck. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, drop a like down below. Comment down there telling me what you want to see me build next. The current deck in the works is actually a Zushin deck, though right now, if you want to see what it's working on right now, as you can see, it's not exciting. So I'm going to be working on that a little bit more, seeing if I can make a build that doesn't revolve around Mystic Mine. But, we will see. Anyways, that's all for today. Thank you for joining me, and I will catch you next time. See ya!